Nyanga is one of the oldest black townships in Cape Town. Nyanga is situated 26 kilometers from Cape Town along the N2 highway. Essentially, this township was created as a result of the migrant labor system.
The key objectives of the study was to identify the challenges with regards to water and electricity service provision in the area of Nyanga. Now, we did this in partnership with community members, community leaders, civil society organizations, as well as the City of Cape Town officials. We also pulled on the expertise of thematic experts to help us with this objective.
The overall objective of this project comprises of three main ones: to collectively work with city officials and the community, to experiment with an existing methodology, namely the community scorecard, and to adapt it into a new local context.
This particular project was to a large extent a continuation of a previous project implemented in 2015 for the City Support Program, the CSP, of National Treasury. The CSP project aimed at supporting South African cities to improve their citizen engagement practices, and in our particular case, we worked directly with the City of Cape Town, which at the time was facing major challenges around community engagement, and it was also open to collaborate. So we worked directly with the Executive Director of the Utilities Department and with other city officials. Community engagement is not the same as public participation. You know, when we use the words engaging and community, we mean people being involved in a set of conversations. And conversations mean you exchange information and you share experiences and you invite people to reflect on how to transform a particular situation. It is a complex process, but it is at the center of any governance or any social system.
Illegal connections are very rampant in the community. We've got electricity theft as well, and then we've got defunct or ineffective electricity infrastructure. In some other communities, we've got meter boxes that just don't work. We've got exposed electricity infrastructure. A lot of these issues are safety hazard issues.
The field work in Nyanga, the tensions were very high and residents were very frustrated. They were confused about the processes in which the city projects are implemented. So, they were blocking some of the electrification projects. So it felt like we were in the middle of a conflict mediation process.
Our services were installed mid-boundary, and this proved to be a challenge because access to those services for us to carry out maintenance or for us to carry out repairs in the case of breakdowns was difficult. So we started a project to move that infrastructure to the street front where it would be easily accessible. But when we started that project, unfortunately, we had problems with the community. I think there was a trust relationship which had broken down between the city and the community. So we could start the project, but there was a lot of disruption as the community was not buying into the project, and they would raise issues, and then the project would stop to a point where it became uneconomical for us to continue the project.
We knew from our experience from the previous projects that service delivery challenges often emanate from communication failures, not actually from the service delivery as such. Because people don't feel heard, they don't get involved, or are not even consulted or informed, then the tensions arise. So we knew that creating a space for dialogue and to build trust was the key of the overall process.
Inkqubo yesikhokelo yindlela yokusebenzisa oorhulumente bendawo kunye noluntu kwiintetho zoxoxa ngemingeni namathuba ngokubonelela ngeenkonzo. Inceda ekuphuculeni ukuhanjiswa kweenkonzo kunye nokubandakanywa koluntu.
I think one of the most useful features is that it provides a balanced approach to monitoring, where the community and the city develop performance indicators or basically a criteria to evaluate services in the area.
The community scorecard methodology offered a process to build trust over time, and more specifically, I would say 3 things: to observe and learn from the realities on the ground, to bring together city officials and residents who really don't get spaces to interact, and finally to have a focused conversation, even if the conversation took us to difficult places.
One of the most useful features is that it provides a balanced approach to monitoring where the community and service providers develop performance indicators or criteria, score services based on these criteria, and engage in constructive dialogue to propose actions for improvement. Its structuring is in such a way that it generates information through municipal citizen interactions, promotes immediate response and joint decision-making through mutual dialogue between users and providers, and can be followed by joint monitoring, when both the service delivery recipients and service providers meet. The results of the evaluation are shared and discussed. The next step is bringing residents and city officials together to exchange their issues and opinions. From this workshop, we come out with a list of questions that both parties want to evaluate. In other words, 2 scorecards that capture key issues that concern city officials and community representatives.
Icandelo eliphambili kwindlela yokwenza i-scorecard yimihla yokuqinisekisa ngokwenyama, apho abathathi inxaxheba besixeko kunye noluntu ngokubanzi bavavanya ukubonelelwa kwenkonzo kwiindawo.
On this day, city officials are guided by community leaders into a walk around through the neighborhood, and this is to observe services are actually working.
Ngaloo mini, abaphandi baququzelele ingxoxo ekuncedeni abahlali kunye namagosa asezidolophini ukuba bachaze iingcamango zenguqu kunye namathuba okubambisana.
The evaluation and the way forward workshops are very important because they provide both community participants and city officials the chance to reflect together on a few things, on what was useful, why it was useful, and what could be improved as a way forward.
Sinengxaki because kune areas, kujeme 14 areas, areas ezininzi ezi 14 areas azinolungiswa ngexesha eli-1 ezonto ezo. But ngalo mzuzu 1 bakwazile uyinantsika ulungise ezinye ingxaki phaa naphaa because abekho aba bantu badilishana nomba human settlement kasemfumana human settlement kule project. So zezo zinto.
Through this entire process, a major outcome, or let me rather say, a major aim was also to look at improving community engagement strategies within the area, and we think we've laid the platform for further engagement as well.
Months, nengxaki yombane, but zikhona nezinye issue esinazo singayazi uba masithini sibheke phi. Kodwa ngoku okufikele project ka-9 project 90 yonke ingxaki zethu zihleli.
So both community members and city officials felt that the scorecard process was a very useful tool in at least 3 ways. The first one was to increase cities officials' awareness of the local realities and the challenges around service provision. The second one was to improve citizens' understandings of the city processes and of the structures, the way the city operates. And then lastly, to strengthen the collaboration between officials on the one hand and the community on the other side, to improve services and quality of life, and to really tap into the agency of local communities.
Kanjalo sincede kakhulu lensika esi-score card ngoba kangiphelele kule yombane namanzi. Iye yagqithela nakwezinye issue esinazo phaa ezinyanga.